4,500 years ago, the last ice age was drawing to a close. The glaciers that had choked northern Europe were retreating, and warmer temperatures brought the first Neolithic revolution. In Britain, small tribes of nomadic hunters and gatherers put down roots, built long houses and started farming. And in the south of England, over several generations, they constructed something truly remarkable, a vast stone circle that we today call Stonehenge. For over 2,000 years, people came to this place, leaving behind clues about their beliefs and practices until it was abandoned around 2500 BC. The thing is, though, nobody knows why. All these millennia later, archaeologists are still working to piece together what Stonehenge was used for, what it might have looked like, and how on earth these people moved and raised all those massive stones. It's one of the most enduring mysteries of the ancient world. But recent discoveries are finally shedding some light on the secrets of Stonehenge. Now, thanks to amazing technology, we can virtually reconstruct Stonehenge and see how it would have looked in the Neolithic age. What you're looking at here is a reconstruction by archaeologists Richard Atkinson and Brian John. It shows a circular ditch and bank with 30 massive standing stones surrounding a large open space. This is known as the henge, which is basically an Anglo-Saxon word for enclosure. Archaeologists think it may have been used for gatherings and rituals. In the center, there are 3 horseshoe-shaped groups of smaller stones, with a 4th set of trilithons forming an entrance. Most of the standing stones are around 4 meters high, but they're not uniform, and there are no 2 stones that are the same size or shape. Each monolith weighs around 25 tons, and while they appear smooth, they were originally shaped with cup marks and ring and dot patterns carved into their surfaces. Some are even connected by grooves. It took thousands of years to build Stonehenge, and during that time, society changed. New burial mounds appeared, and the henge was remodeled with more trilithons added. By the late Neolithic period, there were around 100 standing stones. But the builders didn't stop there. They erected another ring of earth and stone on the outside, which formed a much larger circle, almost a mile in diameter. Today, we know that Stonehenge is aligned with the summer solstice. The builders somehow managed to get the main axis of the monument to within half a degree of the sun's path at noon on the longest day of the year. That makes it one of the most accurate solar observatories on Earth, more precise than many built by modern astronomers. But Stonehenge isn't just aligned with the solstices. Recent studies show that the outer circle of stones could have also tracked the movements of the moon and other stars. This suggests Stonehenge may have functioned as an ancient calendar. It's hard to say how this would have worked, but we do have some clues. Buried beneath the earthworks, archaeologists found pits that contained burnt bones and fragments of pottery. Some of the bones can be dated to the winter solstice, suggesting people may have camped out at Stonehenge for weeks or even months at a time. There's also evidence that some of the pits were used for cremations. Fragments of burnt bone were mixed with the ashes of the dead, along with flint tools and other offerings. These objects were then buried in the ground. It seems likely that the builders of Stonehenge made pilgrimages to the site, perhaps in the hope of seeing an eclipse, but there's so much we don't know. Who were the builders of Stonehenge? We don't know for sure, but the leading theory is that they were the ancestors of the modern Cornish and Welsh people. DNA from 10 individuals who lived near Stonehenge has been extracted and compared with the genomes of people from across Europe. They found that these people had a genetic lineage that's distinct from everyone else, including modern Britons. They came from what's now Spain and Portugal and arrived in Britain around 4,500 years ago. But they weren't the first to build a stone circle here. Their ancestors had already started the work and somehow managed to transport enormous stones from the Marlborough Downs to the Salisbury Plain. Recently, researchers used a technique called scanning tunneling microscopy to analyze the surface of a sarsen stone. They discovered tiny grooves that show the wear and tear of hundreds of thousands of visitors rubbing against them over the course of thousands of years. But it's not just pilgrims who have left their mark on Stonehenge. A Roman road was built during the 2nd century AD, and a medieval deer park was enclosed in the 12th century. Stonehenge even served as a quarry for nearby buildings. In the 18th century, when William Stukely surveyed the site, he noticed that some of the stones were missing. Luckily, he drew detailed pictures of the carvings so we can compare the old photos with what remains today. Using his drawings, archaeologist Joshua Pollard created this 3D model of Stonehenge to help him study the site. But there are still so many unanswered questions. How did they move the stones? Where did they get the huge blocks of rock? And what was the purpose of the carvings? To answer these questions, we need to keep digging. Thanks to new technologies, archaeologists will soon be able to scan the ground beneath Stonehenge without even digging. Deep ground radar will create a detailed map of the area and reveal what lies beneath the surface. And as AI becomes more advanced, we may be able to ask it to look for patterns in the stone carvings. Maybe then we'll discover that Stonehenge wasn't just a random assortment of rocks, but rather an encoded message from the past. Over the next few years, we should also learn more about megalithic sites across Europe, some of which are older than Stonehenge. By comparing the different monuments, archaeologists hope to piece together how our ancestors saw the sky and used it to track time. One day soon, we might even figure out why Stonehenge is here. So, what do you think Stonehenge was used for? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and remember, if you want to learn more about the universe and how we explore it, you can subscribe for more videos.